jungle. Who wants to smoke? I didn't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Chasing C notes. Welcome to the jungle. Who wants to smoke? I ain't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Dynasties.
Welcome to Chasing C Notes, a podcast. I'm your co-host, Sarek, and I'm always joined by my co-host, Larry. What's good, Larry?
What's going on, Sarek? Let's do this.
Let's do this. We're on to round number 2, but we're going to first do a quickly review of the NBA. We're going to do a round 1 review, and then we're going to do our round 2 predictions, as well as 2 Game 7s this weekend, because we're recording this Saturday morning. So Larry, I just have one item in NBA news. That's Popovich officially retiring, moving up to the front office. How do you feel? Like, is he leaving a legacy behind? How do you feel about this?
Hey, Pop held on as long as he could. He's moving on to, basketball operations. He'll still be a big part of the Spurs organization. We have to give him his props. 29 years. I think there was a stat out there where it said 303 coaches were fired during that time frame. So, I mean, he's done his thing. He's been amazing. We just lost a lot of great coaches in the last couple of years. So, we're just dealing with this and make room for the new. And again, Pops is not going nowhere. He's still going to be in the background helping us out. So
I know there's been talk, and we're going to talk about the Bucks Indiana series, but there's been talk that Giannis might go to the Spurs. How do you feel? Do you think that this is, if it does happen, do you think that will be the start of a second dynasty for Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, we all know that even if Dame comes back, he's going to miss pretty much the entire year of 2025, 2026. So, Giannis going, rumors to the Lakers or rumors that he's going to go to the Spurs. I think wherever he goes, he's going to help. It's kind of like, Butler moving on. When you got a good player like that to help another team, it does change the dynamics. It gives you something to think about. So, I'm for it. I really think the Spurs are really close to hitting the playoffs, and it would be great if they can get some help.
Yeah, I think having the Spurs, not only is it nostalgic, but it's a small market, and normally small markets are not successful, so to speak. I mean, maybe OKC can change that, but let's see what San Antonio does. Let's talk about the series that are officially over, round 1. And Larry, let's first go to, we actually both predicted that this would happen, OKC over Memphis. Were you at all shocked about the outcome of this series?
Yes, I was, especially the last game that they played. It just seems like OKC was just dominant every single game. There was like maybe one game that was somewhat competitive where OKC had to come back. But other than that, I just feel like, already we knew they were going to have issues with losing their coach, but we didn't think they were going to be that unprepared.
Yeah, and you know what? I was listening to another podcast, and it kind of brought up the whole theme of like, is the playing game really a success? Like, is it really worth having? Because I feel like this is going to happen more often than not, where a super team like OKC is going to go against a Memphis team who, let's be honest, they really shouldn't be there. So they're just going to coast, just going to win by 30, win by 50 points. I don't know. To be honest with you, I spent less than 5 minutes watching this series because I knew from the very start that it was going to be a mismatch. So I don't know. I mean, you can't take it back, right? The playing is here to stay, but I just don't know if these teams deserve a playoff spot. I mean,
yeah, definitely. I mean, we see this sometimes in the NCAA tournament when ones have to play 16. It's just the way it is. But I just feel like that was a waste. I don't know if anyone really wanted to watch that, but I think Ja didn't play a couple games, maybe 2 games, but it was just not a really good series at all.
No, not at all. The next series, Indiana versus Milwaukee. Were you shocked all the hate and all the in-game fighting that was happening, or are you just sad that it was a Doc Rivers special and he just exited?
I think it's changing the guard. I mean, the Bucks have been superior for so long, and the Pacers have been trying to come up, and they won the in-season tournament got to the East anyway for the in-season tournament, and so they looked really good. But it's a rivalry. They play each other so much, and again now the Pacers are the superior team. So it's just the way it is. They're going to keep bumping into each other, and if Giannis leaves, then I feel bad for the Bucks, but it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that both teams were familiar with each other, and just the fact that these two teams were there in the playoffs, yeah, there's going to be some friction, so I understand. However, as we mentioned in the NBA news, do you think Giannis stays or he leaves?
I think he may leave. I think he may leave because it's going to be, even when they had Dame and Giannis, there was a lot of rebuild that needed to happen. And so I say he leaves and starts fresh. I think you're going to see the trend happening more often, where we saw with Butler just taking off and all these players just going into a better situation.
And it's kind of strange because they mortgaged everything to get Dame. I don't know if they have that many draft picks, like 2 or 3 years from now. It's just a really, really badly run franchise, to be honest. And I just don't know if Giannis stays for that, for that rebuild that's going to happen, because they're going to be bad for the next couple of years. I don't think one player is going to change the face of that franchise going forward. So I'm all in favor of Giannis leaving for better pastures. The next series, we actually were wrong on this one. So hats off to the Timberwolves. They did it. Lakers versus Minnesota. Larry, where are you on this? Because we both picked LA to win this game. So what went wrong?
The Lakers looked really good coming into the playoffs, and they finished off the regular season. So everyone was really strong with the Lakers are doing well, the Warriors are doing well, these rebuilt teams. But we all knew the Lakers had a weakness at the center spot, and they were definitely exposed. And they're going to have to find a center. That's why there's rumors that they're trying to get Giannis. So we'll see what happens. But Timberwolves is they were hurting too. So they were up high than they should have been. They ended up finishing off 6. We all know what they did last year. So they had some disappointments, but they came up pretty strong towards the end of the season, and they were as healthy as they could be. And again, Ant-Man, Batman, Spider-Man, whatever it is, Lakers and 5. He did his thing. So Timberwolves are the 6th spot. If the Warriors end up winning, they would be the 7th spot. So all my students would say 6-7.
Listen, I bow down to Ant-Man. He did his thing. Doesn't mean that just because you beat the Lakers, you won the championship. You still got 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds to go, 3 rounds to go. So let's not give him the flowers, but he did his thing. Minnesota, much respect. You did it. Larry, this one we split. Knicks versus Pistons. Knicks won it in 6. I thought they would go 7 games, but when Knicks won it in 6, what happened with Detroit? Why was it they didn't have experience? Because they have Malik Beasley and they have Harris on the team. So, and Schroeder actually impressed me the way he played defense. So what happened with the Pistons?
Pistons played well. They played well. They played against New York really well. There was a lot of game management, especially at the end of the game, that I saw where they kept fumbling the ball, and even the last play where it was a turnover. Cade Cunningham, I don't know what happened with Cade. I feel like he did have 1 or 2 games where he played well, but overall, I don't think he played really well for the whole series. And then of course, Brunson. Brunson does his thing. He's clutch player of the year for a reason. And he came back and did his thing. So I appreciate, a good series, but Detroit was not ready for New York. They probably would have been better off playing one of these other teams, but they weren't ready. They weren't ready for New York at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Cade, he wasn't there game one and like part of game two. For some reason, he didn't bring his A game in. And to be considered a superstar in this league, you got to do it every night. Every night. Doesn't matter if you're playing New York or if you're playing Charlotte or if you're playing, the Pelicans. You got to bring your A game. And I think as, he gains more experience, Cade is going to figure that out. But yeah, he's so much talent. My hat's off to Detroit. Bickerstaff, he did his thing. I know he was with Cleveland, then he was with Detroit. He's a good coach. I think the OKC coach got a coach of the year, but I would not be, if Bickerstaff won, I would not be mad. He turned that franchise around. So big ups to Detroit. Now Orlando versus Boston. We both wanted a sweep. It didn't happen. They won it in 5. Is Orlando a good team, or they were just very, very physical? Why did it take 5 games?
Orlando's a great team. We did do a gentleman's sweep with them, but we all know Orlando wasn't Orlando. They're missing 2 key players that could have made a big difference. I definitely see them, making a few more moves and coming back even stronger than they did this year. So I think Orlando is going to be a tough team for a lot of people. So I definitely give them credit for even coming through undermanned and still putting up a fight. Won that 2-point game and gave Orlando some hope for next year. So good job, Orlando.
Yeah, I think Orlando is definitely trending in the right direction. We wanted a sweep, we didn't get it. I know that Drew Holiday sat for like 3 games. I think maybe more than that. They were resting him. I'm impressed by Banchero. I think he's definitely going to become a superstar. They were missing one of the Wagner brothers and Jalen Suggs. I don't know if having Jalen Suggs would have made a huge difference because he's not really a scorer. There was a lot of times where I felt like Banchero was out there by himself. And Wagner only did well when they played at home, not on the road. So, again, experience. The more experience you get, the better you know, I got to bring my A game when I'm on the road, not just at home. I guess you could say the same for the Celtics bench, but that's another thing that we'll talk about. And that's it for round 1. I mean, except for the 2 game 7s that are going to happen. You have Golden State. I have Houston. We both picked the Clippers on Sunday. Are you changing any of that at all?
Yeah, I'm worried about the Clippers. I thought they would come a little stronger. I think there was a couple of games where they had a shot and Denver just came back and took over the game. But I'm really worried. I'm leaning more towards the Nuggets now because the Clippers had to fight so hard just to tie things up. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them. It's going to be a good game to watch, and we'll see what happens with these 2 game 7s. But it could go either way. Those teams are pretty even at this point. It really depends on who wants it more, and so we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the actual matchups will look like.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to Houston. When Golden State fumbled that game 6, because I really thought that they would win that game, but they make so many mistakes, mental mistakes, to turn the ball over. They're very careless. I don't know if they've always been this way, but that, to me, I didn't feel like it was a championship team. Of course, Van Fleet definitely saved Houston's season with all those threes, but I want to see how Game 7 plays out. Will Curry show up? Will he not show up? We don't know.
They keep playing Dylan Brooks. Golden State will win. The only time they had a good highlight was when Dylan Brooks was guarding somebody. First it was Curry, then Butler. But when he got in foul trouble, Houston just took care of business. So that's what I seen.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see that happen. And with the Clippers Nuggets, I'm still gonna stick with the Clippers. I just think that Harden, Leonard, they just need to show up. They're supposed to be superstars, even though they're aging superstars. They're supposed to be superstars, and two superstars can be the one world beater, and that's Jokic. So let's see Sunday what turns out to be with that team. Let's move on to round 2 because we only have 2 real matchups that we can talk about, Larry. And the Cleveland Indiana game starts Sunday. We both have Cleveland winning this series. But Larry, how many games do you think Cleveland does it in?
Cleveland hasn't lost yet. I feel like Indiana can go and get hot. I feel like this may just be a gentleman's sweep. I got Cleveland winning in 5.
Oh, wow. So you think that Cleveland will put the hammer down then?
Yes.
See, I got Cleveland in 6. I think that home Indiana is pretty good. I don't know how good they are on the road. And I like Cleveland's bench more than I like Indiana's bench. That's why I'm leaning with Cleveland to take care of business, but I think they do it in 6 games. I don't know if we both know that Indiana is not going to play defense. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Mitchell can do with this bad defense. The last series, Larry, that we're going to talk about, New York at Boston. Game 1 is going to be on Monday. Larry, how many games do you think it's going to take Boston to get rid of New York?
I say this gentleman's sweep. Celtics in 5 games. Now this is all. We haven't played full strength. I don't think any game. I think maybe our first game possibly, but then we were missing Tatum the second game, and then we were missing Drew Holiday. But we don't need everyone to beat the Knicks. We need at least the majority of our players. But I still think we can win in 5. We get everybody back. It's a possibility we could sweep them. But I feel like the Knicks hot sometimes, and the ball can bounce their way.
Yeah, I was leaning to 5 games too, and then I went with 6 only because maybe I'm buying into the hype, maybe I'm not. I think Brunson might cause a problem if Holiday is not 100%, because I feel like we need Derek White and we need Drew Holiday as a tandem to stop Jalen Brunson. Because let's be honest, if you stop Jalen Brunson, Cat is gonna do it himself. I think he's averaging like 10 points a game against the Celtics. I don't know if he's there. Like, you can really trust him to be the number 2 on this team. How do you feel if we can get Brunson out of the way? Do the Knicks really have a number 2 scorer?
Yeah. I mean, that's they OG get hot sometimes, and then sometimes they got Hart that comes in there, and then of course they have one other guy that helps him out a little bit, Bridges.
Mikal Bridges. But sometimes with him it's like feast of famine. I don't know. Like, you look at the scoreboard and he can have 25 points or he can have 5 points. It's really strange, but I'm going to go 6 games in this series. I think that they win 2 games. I don't know if it's going to be in New York or in Boston, but I think they win 2 games. I think that if the coach decide that we need all 5 of our starting guys against the Knicks, then that's a problem. Because that means that we're not resting them to face Cleveland. We're resting them. We're playing them because we think that the Knicks are good. So I'm going to be on the lookout to what Joe does in this series. Whether he, rests Drew Holiday or, Horford or whoever, maybe KP. I don't know. He's not really in shape, in form yet. I thought he would be because he was having such a great regular season when he came back from injury, but I feel like he's hesitant. Is it just me, or do you feel the same way?
Yeah, exactly. And, I think one of the things that's going to be said when the season's over is who won the trade? Was it Cat, or was it was it the Knicks, or was it the Timberwolves? I guess it depends on who goes further, because you got Ant on one side doing his thing, and you got Cat on one side doing his thing. So that's one thing that can be said about those two teams. But I think the finals, I mean, the playoffs are going to start getting a little bit better. We got better matchups coming. We got, so I think overall it's going to look much better. It's not going to look anything like this next year, I can already tell. But, we're hoping that we can go ahead and take over. And, I feel bad for the Knicks because they've been waiting so long to have this team, and they have to come up against us. I think they would have a better shot if they played like the Pacers or somebody. But we'll give them their credit. So,
because I heard there was reported by Sham that next year the Celtics are going to be blown up. I don't know how factual that is, because they're definitely over the luxury tax right now and into next year. I don't know if the owners are planning on blowing this thing up, but if this is true, who do you think it's tradable?
I don't know. I always say Brown, but I feel like, I mean, even if we win, I can't see us taking this another year. So I really feel like they're going to make some changes, and they're going to hurt, because no matter who leaves or who gets traded, it's going to hurt. But a lot of teams are going to make some big changes because they're not happy with how the season went. The West was so tight, and then one flop at the end, and you end up going down to 7th ranked, or so there's going to be a lot of changes going to be made, I think, and then there'll be a lot of players available, and they'll pick up their players at a very cheap price, and then that's when those teams will unload for those big contracts.
I personally, I just can't see Tatum and JB being split up. I think the rest of the team, even I know they just gave Derek White an extension and Drew Holiday an extension, but I just have the feeling that Pritchard can be flipped. I know he's got an award for Sixth Man of the Year. He might be a defensive liability, even though he's improved a lot. I don't know. It's like, yes, this could happen because the new owners probably don't want to pay that luxury tax, but getting rid of your two best players, I don't know. To me, that would be too drastic. I think the city of Boston would turn on the new owners, and I don't think you want to start out on the wrong foot, right? You just bought this franchise for like $6.1 billion. You don't want to start in the wrong foot, or you don't want to make it seem like you can't afford this luxury tax. You can't afford the bill. So I don't know. We'll definitely keep an eye out, but that's going to happen months from now. Is there anything else that you want to say to the fans out there?
All right, fans. We are ready. We're going into the second round. We're ready to do this. It's going to start getting tight after this, so let's enjoy this second round before it gets into this conference finals. Because we know we have to play two tough teams to get to this chip. So we're going to go ahead and we're gonna go to Madison Square Garden and do what we got to do, and take care of business.
100% agree. I think that as long as we play our style of offense, and I'm glad that Orlando is not there anymore, because they were the best 3-point guarding team. They're gone now. We don't have to worry about big guys coming at us. We're gonna get some wide open shots against the Knicks.
Can we get 30? The first game we played with them, we only put up 29 threes. Can we get 30?
I think it's possible, and especially at home. I want us, if we start 2-0, forget about it. This series is over. Forget about it. If they still won, at least we know that there's some competition, right?
Right.
But if they start off 2-0, I don't think that they're gonna win both games at Madison Square Garden. And if we go 3-0, forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, if Boston wins this series in a clean sweep, 4 games, it's Thibodeau getting fired. In your opinion?
No. I think New York has some in as well, and I think that they definitely played. They couldn't beat the elite teams, but they played hard here. I like to see some minor changes to the New York Knicks, and have them take that second seed next year, and that would suffice.
Yeah, I think I saw that this is the first time they've won back-to-back 50 games since like Pat Riley was a coach, and that was back in like 94, 95. I don't know, something like that. So I don't think he'll get fired. I think you're right. I think they're gonna do some major changes. He definitely plays everyone way too many minutes. I don't think you can change that, but at least you can give him the players that he wants, right? So, listen, New York Knicks, it was a good try. The fans cheering, we want Boston. You're going to get Boston. You're going to get Boston. And you're going to get spanked. We're going to win the series and on to Cleveland, on to the real matchup, which is Cleveland. So, with that said, Larry, we're going to talk again. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is episode number 23. So next, we're going to do episode 24, the conference finals. We'll see who makes it. So until that time, I say peace.
Peace.
Hi, guys. Thank you for listening to this episode, Chasing Dino's podcast. If you have any concerns or questions, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. And please subscribe to this channel, this page, whatever it is, platform that you listen. Peace.